How's it going, everyone? Bass here. Hope everyone is having a wonderful start to your weekend. In today's video, I wanted to go over 3 free agents that the Packers should still be looking at and should potentially sign that would help their team right away. Before we get into the video, if you aren't already, I'd greatly appreciate it if you went down and clicked that subscribe button and also liked my video if you enjoy my content. Alright, so you might be thinking, how are the Packers going to sign anyone? They have no money, right? Currently, they have $3.2 million in cap space, but we know that can change in a snap of the fingers with an Aaron Rodgers restructure, Devontae Adams extension, a Zadarius Smith extension, Dean Lowry cut, all a plethora of things that could happen that could, allow the Packers to actually sign a couple free agents, veteran guys, bring them in for cheap, and really help this football team. And it seems they kind of are going that route with going the all-in approach because, they're adding a lot of void years to certain contracts and really pushing a lot of the bonus and other cap hits into later years. So I think they're finally just like, you know what, we got to go all in. We have Aaron Rodgers. We have a good football team that's going 13-3 in the past 2 years. You got to go all in. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers went out and signed some veteran free agents to help this team. It's only been a week and a half. The Packers usually don't sign free agents right away early. Their mantra is more, kicking the tires on a few guys and trying to get good value for good players. So the first free agent I have is defensive lineman Jarrell Casey. He was cut by the Denver Broncos. He's been a beast pretty much all his career, never been below a 70.0 PFF ranking overall for defense. Another great thing with him being cut is he wouldn't count towards compensatory selection for next year. My guess is you could sign him for a 1-year deal around $5 million average. You could have some incentive-based contract. You could probably look to get a cap hit right around $3.5 million. And I think that's great value for Jarrell Casey. If you look down his stats, now he only played 156 snaps last year before getting hurt, so very small sample size for 2020, but the guy has proven what he is the 8 other years. In 2019, he had a 74.5 rating, and then if you keep going years prior, you have an 85.4, an 84.1, 78.4, 82.7, so the guy's been playing really well his entire career. He would instantly plug in right next to Kenny Clark, and he would help the Packers' run game a lot. He's always been a very good run defender, and I think he would fit perfectly in this Packers defense. So Jarrell Casey's 31 years old, but I still think he has a lot left in him. Dean Lowry, I don't see being part of this team in 2021, and then really other than Kenny Clark, you have Kingsley Keke, who I've praised about. I think he will start this year, but signing Jarrell Casey would instantly bring that D-line way up in talent, and like I said, just make that run defense a lot better. Second on my list is Wright. I released a free agency video about over a month ago. He was in that video, and I'm keeping him in this one too. I still think he would be a great signing for the Packers. You could probably get him for a 2-year deal, roughly around $6 million average per year. He's been a solid anchor for the Seattle Seahawks defense for 9 years now, and I think he would really add a big veteran presence in the Packers' inside linebacker spot that they desperately need. As you see, he was the 7th best overall linebacker via PFF with a 75.7 ranking, and also the 6th best cover linebacker at a 79.2 ranking, which the Packers also desperately need. Both Packers starting inside linebackers, being Chris Barnes and Kamal Martin, are both 22 years old. They don't really have a lot of experience under their belt. They both got their first NFL snaps last year, and they both endured injuries last year. So realistically, the Packers are one bad injury in that inside linebacker room from having a very, very thin and inexperienced inside linebacker room. Wright also played nearly 1,000 snaps last year, so his endurance is definitely still up there. His durability is definitely way still up there, and I think this would be also a great signing for the Packers defense overall and in general. So for my third and final one, I have Cordarrelle Patterson. He's actually been liking a lot of tweets today that basically say, hey man, come to the Packers, and he's been liking those. Not that that means anything. He might not even have any contact with the Packers yet. But I think Cordarrelle Patterson would bring exactly what Tyler Ervin brought to the Packers and a little bit more. He would instantly upgrade the Packers' special teams by 10 easily right away. I also think he could be signed for very cheap, a total salary of around $2 million. He's 30 years old. He doesn't really play receiver much anymore. He's more of that running back role. He can run the ball. He can do your jet sweeps, your jet motions and all, just like Tyler Ervin did. And he's good at it. He's a fast player. He's big too. He's 6'2", 228. So he could definitely take that role in the Matt LaFleur offense. As I was mentioning with special teams, he was second in the league in kick return yards per return with 29.1, right below Andre Roberts. He also had a touchdown on the year. He doesn't really return punts, but that's not so much a worry. I'm more worried about the kick return with this team because I've said it in prior videos, and I'm sure you can all agree with me. Every single time a kick return happened and either, Malik Taylor or Darius Shepard took that ball out of the end zone, you were just like, don't fumble, don't fumble, don't fumble. Just get to the 25 and fall down. And that shouldn't be like that. Cordarrelle Patterson's one of the better kick returners in the last 10, 15 years. So I think he would add a tremendous aspect to the Packers special teams room. And like I said, he doesn't really play that receiver role anymore, but he can receive the ball out of the backfield. He's actually was the 14th best running back in that aspect with a 69.0 grade PFF. As we know, the Packers really only have 2 running backs with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, losing Jamal Williams to Detroit. Cordarrelle Patterson will kind of shore up that running back room. I also think they might draft someone, but Cordarrelle will be kind of that third guy that could play gadget. You know, he could play at wide receiver if you really needed him to. Special teams, of course, and then also like a gadget role like Tyler Ervin did. So that's going to about do it. I just wanted to go over 3 free agents the Packers should still look into and could potentially sign for cheap for the 2021 season. And I think these 3 players would add a tremendous aspect to this team, whether that be defense or special teams. I hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend. And as always, go Pack Go.